So the question is, what's my identity? Or are we also starting to have that language? So who are you? What are you here for? How are you ever going to live that dream? Why did this happen to you? Why hasn't it happened yet? Okay, next one. Or have you got an identity that you can be proud to show? Have you ever tried to go into another country and they've asked, identity please? No identity, can't have access. Even today, buying certain items, they require from you and I an identity. So I decided to show you the next screen. Just in case you thought that I was born without hair, I thought, let's enlarge it. Just to show you, I had a mean hairdo. Someone shouted out this morning that looks like Timothy, my son. So I could just say, phone him and warn him what's ahead of him. Enjoy it while he's got it. Someone said, why don't you change your ID and go for the card? I said, forget it. I've got hair on that one. Eh? All right, let's go to the next screen, please. So we live in a world where we are surrounded by different cultures, different people, different personalities, different identities. The question is to find who we are. Thank you. So people say to yourself, just be yourself. How many people have ever told you, excuse me, just be yourself? The question is, how can I be myself when I haven't even found myself yet? So this is the month where I'm trusting that you and I are going to go on a journey where we can find who we are. So when someone says to you, excuse me, just be yourself, we will know what it is to just be ourselves. Sometimes that right person you need to find in your life is yourself. You know, we're all running around trying to find the right job, the right house, the right car, the right friend, the right husband, the right wife, the right church, the right this, the right. Have you found yourself yet? That's the question. I lost myself while trying not to lose you. So often we're holding on to our friends. We don't want to lose them, but we lose ourselves in the process. We're holding on to this business deal. We're holding on to this. We're holding on to that. We don't want to lose you. We don't want to lose you. But in the process of not wanting to lose something or someone else, we lose ourselves. Sometimes we give so much that we end up losing ourselves. We're constantly giving of ourselves at home, at work, at school, wherever we go. We're just giving. And in the process of just giving of our time to all our responsibilities, we can lose ourselves in the process. I feel lost inside myself. You know, we even men, we all wear eyeshadow, lipstick, gloss. We all cover up externally. We all have an appearance that all is okay. And on the inside, we are completely lost. And how many of us are really honestly, don't have to put up your hands because, just think about it. Put your hands up in your heart, okay? Nobody can see that. But I'm so sure most of us here this morning have experienced that inside lost feeling. Where we smile, we greet everyone, we go through the motions, high five, low five, we do the whole thing. But inside we are completely lost. We do not know who we are. What are we here for? Why has this happened to us? How can I find myself again? So I want to encourage you. Will you go on a road map experience with me this month? Turn to someone, excuse me. Let's go on a road trip. Let's find who I am. Come on. All right, next one. So life is a journey. It's not a destination. So no matter how old you feel or how young you feel, no matter what grade you're in and you can't wait to leave school, just remember wherever you are now is not your destination. Because life is a journey. Amen. Don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle. Someone needs to hear that this morning. Don't compare your journey to someone else's journey. You see how they end and you say, wow, check what they've got. Listen, it's taken a whole journey to get where they are. You're just starting your journey. You can't expect the start of your journey to be like the end of their journey. Stop comparing yourself to others, because in the process of comparing yourself to others, you lose yourself. You know, we lose ourselves so quickly. We can be lost during our baby years through child abuse. How many people have lost themselves through that moment? They don't know who they are. They lost their identity through abuse. They get into high school, and you know what? Teenagers can be rough, eh? Everything's about image. Everything's about a label. It's how you walk. It's when you bend your knee. It's when you pull your shirt out and hang your pants down. It's all about image. And you know what? Some of you don't even want to dress like that. You're dressing in pain and agony. You hate it, but you'll do it because you want to fit in. But you lose yourself in the process. How many people have experienced losing themselves when they got fired, got retrenched, got divorced? Whatever your heartache was, whatever your experience was. How many parents are in go-go mode? You know what go-go mode is? All you get up in the morning, you forget about your husband, all you worry about is your kids. From morning to night until your kids are out the house. And then you look at your husband and say, hey, who are you? And then you find each other again. But then you don't know what to do with each other. Because as parents, all you did was consumed around your children. Now you got extra money and don't even know what to do with your extra money. Your dreams have died. You lost yourself during parenting. You don't even know who you are anymore. Because you're always in go-go mode. But take the plug out of go-go mode. You lost yourself in the process somewhere along the lines. Love yourself first and everything else will fall in line. You know what the Bible says? Love your neighbor as you love your. We've got to start loving ourselves again. But you'll only start loving yourself when you know who you are. When you can find yourself again and understand your identity in God. What God's plan is for you. When you look in front of the mirror, you can say, not with arrogance, not with pride, but you can say with a sense of confidence, I know who I am. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I may have suffered at the hands of certain people, but you know what? I'm not their creation. I am His creation. And so as long as I am His creation, what He has started in me, He will bring to completion. He has started a good work, and I am a masterpiece in the hands of my Master. Come on now. So identity, go with me quickly to the book of Exodus chapter 3. Let's quickly go there. I'm going to read to you a story quickly about a man with an identity crisis. Exodus chapter 3, let's go there quickly. All right, Exodus chapter 3, verse 1, we have Moses, a shepherd walking around in the desert. It was a frequent thing to see a bush on fire because of the extreme heat in the desert. But in this case, he sees a bush on fire and the bush is not burning up, so it gets his attention and he walks across to the burning bush. Now Moses was tending the flock. In verse 2, then the angel of the Lord appeared to him in flames of fire from within a bush. Moses saw that through the bush was on fire, it did not burn up. So Moses thought, I will go over and see the strange sight, why the bush does not burn up. When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, Moses, Moses. And Moses said, here I am. You know, most of us, actually, fact, have no problem to say those words. We were trained to do that by our parents. Johnny, where are you? Here I am. Susan, where are you? Here I am. Go to school. Peter, where are you? Here I am. Go to school. Inga, where are you? Here I am. Go to church. Inga, where are you? Here I am. Are you still here? Here I am. We are grown at work. Is Mr. Johnson in the house? Here I am. We have no problem to say, here I am. But when you're asked, who are you? You say, I don't know who I am. So Moses says, here I am. But he actually has an identity crisis. And Moses said, okay, so verse 5, do not come any closer, God said. Take off your sandals, for the place where you're standing is holy ground. Verse 10. So Moses and God has a conversation, and God starts to say to Moses, I have a plan for your life. So now go, I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. But Moses said to God, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt? God, with all due respect, I'm a failure. Do you know that when I was in Egypt last, I killed someone? I've got a criminal record against my name. When I go back there, they're going to probably kill me in the process. I'm actually afraid. I'm insecure. I'm not comfortable with this. Who am I? Who am I? You see, he could say, here I am, but then it went immediately to, who am I? And God said, I will be with you, and this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God on this mountain. Moses said to God, and this is how his head kicks in. Our head always tends to reason even with the promises and the plans of God. And so Moses' mind starts to reason, and Moses says, suppose I go to the Israelites and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you, and ask me, what is his name? What shall I tell them? Come on, please, Lord. They're going to ask me questions, and I don't know how I'm going to answer them. So what should I say? So God said to Moses, I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you. Let's go to chapter 4, verse 1. Moses answered, what if they do not believe me or listen to me and say the Lord did not appear to you? Can you see this man with an identity crisis? He doesn't say, what if they don't believe you, Lord? And what if they don't listen to you, Lord? No. It's what if they don't believe me? I'm the leader. And what if they don't listen to me? My name's at stake. My image is at stake. My identity is at stake. I am at stake. And by the way, just putting it out there again, I do have a criminal record. Verse 2, then the Lord said to him, what is in your hand? A staff, he replied. And he said, throw it on the ground. And you've heard me preach about how Moses threw a staff on the ground. It turned into a snake. And then he picked up the snake and it turned back into a staff. You all know that story. And we all know that story says that staff represented his history. It represented his life. And on that staff, he definitely had many marks on that staff showing even the failures and the mistakes in his life. And if he kept focusing on that staff, he would have lost his identity. Some of us have lost ourselves in our history. And that's why God says, what's in your hand? My history. I lost myself somewhere in that journey. And God says, throw that journey down. Surrender that journey. Surrender your staff. Surrender your history of both your accomplishments and your failures. Surrender yourself, because I'm telling you, your past can be a snake to you and you can lose yourself in it. I want you to rediscover why I created you. And I'm going to show you how you're going to be what I need you to be. And I'm going to show you what to do. So you will never, ever have to say, who am I? You will say, here I am, and I know who I am. But you're going to have to surrender yourself first. Verse 10. So after that amazing moment, Moses said to the Lord, oh, Lord. Have you ever heard someone say that? You know nothing good is going to come out after that. Oh, Lord, it's hard to be humble. That's where the song comes from. But it's, oh, Lord. I have never been eloquent, neither in the past, nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and tongue. I can't talk properly. How are you going to use me? Liar. If you study the life of Moses, do you know that Moses was so well trained in speech that he could speak to people and an audience in Egypt? But because he experienced failure in Egypt, he lost himself in the failure and lacked the confidence in his speech. He had the ability. He had the gift. He was well trained. He knew how to speak. But because he killed a man and he experienced failure, he lost his confidence. He lost himself in his failure. So when God wants to restore him back to how he's supposed to be, he says, I'm not good with my mouth. Moses said to the Lord, oh Lord, I'm slow of speech. Verse 11. The Lord said to him, who gave man his mouth and who makes him deaf or mute? Who gives him sight or makes him blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go, I will help you speak and will teach you what to say. I will restore your identity. I will bring you back to that place that I designed you to operate in. But Moses said, oh, Lord. How many times has God given you a promise and your first response is, oh, Lord. Oh, Lord, please send someone else to do it. My identity is at stake here. I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm here for. I've lost myself along the way. I'm definitely not the right candidate. Use someone who's better than me. Verse 14, the Lord's anger burned against Moses. Let's go to the next screen. Now, I want to share a concept with you this morning. I'm going to do a quick exercise with you guys. Okay, are you ready with this exercise? Every Sunday this month, we're doing an exercise dealing with a certain concept so that we can discover ourselves all over again. Because I'm telling you, so many of us have lost ourselves somewhere along the lines. And if we can get the head, the heart, and the hand, the 3 H's to work together as a well-oiled machine, we will be confident in who I am, what I am here for, how I am going to do it, and what is the plan. I will understand the why behind the what. But if your head, your heart, and your hand are not synchronized to work together, you're going to lose yourself between your head, your heart, your hand. Are you with me? Because your head is like the intellectual side. It processes everything. It's the most active part of your entire human being. Your heart is where it burns with passion. That's where you get excited, you get enthusiastic about certain things. That's where all your dreams are. I want to be a doctor, I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to be. Where does it comes from? The heart. But the hands, that is what touches everything. What is in your hands right now. Let's move to the next screen. So these are the questions that come in your head. What am I here for? Who am I? And then in the heart, it's, why am I being betrayed again? Why isn't it working out for me? Why? Why now? After all these time, all the whys come from the heart. Then in the hand says, but how can I fix this? How can I work through this? Where is this going to come right? When should I do this? These are all the questions. And because we are so riddled with questions, we lose ourselves because we can't find the answers. Have you ever found how you feel when someone comes up to you and asks you a question and you don't know the answer? How do you feel? You feel stupid. You feel like, where can I phone a friend?